Here's your source for all things Everton. We're here for the Carabao Cup draw. I'm joined by Paul. Firstly, Paul, who would you like to see us get?
But the crappiest team in the draw. I think if we get any draw that's lower league, we've got to be happy with, and maybe a Premier League team as long as it's at home at Goodison, I'd be happy with. If we can avoid a tough away draw like a Southampton or a Burnley or someone or a Tottenham or obviously not Man City or Liverpool, you don't want that, but I'm confident we'll get a draw. I mean, if we get anything similar to the draw that we've just had Huddersfield, then you've got to be happy with that, because you've got to think that we're not going to make as hard work of another draw like that as we did at Huddersfield. Surely that's all our bad luck in this competition for 1 year, over and done with. You'd like to think, wouldn't you? But I'd be happy just as long as we get a Championship team or a League One team or most Premier League teams, as long as it's at home.
Yeah, I mean, someone's put here to get Norwich at home. It was Flash Original, said Norwich at Goodison. That one wouldn't be too bad.
No, that wouldn't be bad, but didn't they just win 6-0 against Bournemouth? Like, they did better in their second round draw against the Championship team than we did. And Bournemouth are a better team than Huddersfield.
Yeah, as you say, they did quite well in the cup, didn't they? I don't know what state of the side Bournemouth put out, to be fair.
I wouldn't want Aston Villa either. Aston Villa's a team I definitely don't want to see us play, because I think Aston Villa will be one of those clubs that, like us, will be having a good go at this competition this season. They'll want to show progress after all the new signings. So, no, just as long as we avoid a top half Premier League team away, then I think you've got to be happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, someone's trying to avoid West Ham as well, just because they seem to be picking up quite a bit of form of late. That's Flash the Original again.
I wouldn't mind West Ham as long as it's at Goodison, because we played West Ham last season, didn't we? And we managed that game pretty well. I think Calvert-Lewin got a hat-trick, didn't he? Did we win it 3-1 or 4-1 or something? Yeah, and we know David Moyes will always be David Moyes. He's hopeless in cup competitions, isn't he? You know that all too well. So I'd have West Ham as long as it wasn't at the London Stadium. I think we are number 7 in the draw, aren't we? I think I read that on Twitter before. We are all number 7.
Yeah, I'll just double check, but I'm not too sure. I mean, yeah, for me, got what you say.
I was just going to say, does anyone in the comments know if the draw's coming up immediately after the ad break? Because I've got Sky on now and they've gone to an ad break. When it comes back, are they going to go straight to the draw, or are they going to do the post match interviews with the Arsenal players and managers? Does anyone know exactly when the draw is going to be? Is it more likely to be 20:15, or is it coming up like next?
Well, I mean, I'm watching on their YouTube channel. They started straight after the game, so I don't know if that's sort of how they're going to go about it now. You know, sort of straight into it. But then hopefully you can never tell,
because I'm just looking at the ad breaks now, and I'm hoping, like, the minute they come back on air, they're going to be basically at the little table with the glass bowl, and they just put all the balls in and they just start it straight away, so they can go to the manager, Arteta, or whoever the West. It's Arteta, because they're the team that got through, and they just say, Mikel, what are your thoughts on the draw? Blah 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 blah. Like, surely they'll want to do that before the interview and before the match.
Yeah, just to confirm, mate, we are ball 7. I mean, looking at it now, a couple of balls that we don't want to see. I think fair to say 10, 11, 12 and 13, which is Leicester, Liverpool, City and United. Any of them avoid, I'd say. Certainly, someone put it in the comments, I really cannot be bothered with pulling Liverpool this early in the cup.
I don't think, when was the last time we played Liverpool in the League Cup? I know we played them in the FA Cup a few times over the last decade or so. Decade and a half, but I can't remember the last time we actually played them in this competition. Has it been like a good 20 years or so?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I know the FA Cup, like, one of the ones is the one where we got beat by their under 21s, wasn't it?
Yeah, but there was in a better. I don't know if you'll remember. In a better memory, we got them 1 year under Moyes. I think it was the year we went to the final, where we drew them at Anfield, We got a 1-1 draw, and then we took them back to Goodison, and then Gosling got that famous last-second winner. 2009, I think that was, yeah.
Jeez.
Oh no, but interviewing Aubameyang, get off the screen. Yeah, it is something to discuss then. Would anyone have Arsenal, considering the state Arsenal are in and the score they've just won this match by? If you said to us now, you can have Arsenal in the next round at home, would anyone take that? Or would anyone think, no, I don't want a softer touch?
I mean, Arsenal, they worry me slightly, you know. I feel like if it clicks against us, it could be really good for them. But saying that, we were saying before, weren't we? They look a bit. We can't figure out what it is, but they just look a bit out of sorts.
Something's not right, is it? I think Gary Neville touched on it, where they're just a very, very unbalanced squad. They've got a lot of youngsters there who are really talented, but they've got a lot of senior players who just don't have the right attitude or don't have the ability to kind of take these younger players under the wing and sort of bring them up and teach them how to be winners. There's just a lot of players there who are just coasting, essentially. There's players who are hungry and are young and want to take the club forward, and there's probably the higher earners who are in the mid-20s onwards who are just, Arsenal's the biggest club they're ever going to play for, and they're just happy to coast and finish around mid-table and maybe have the odd cup run. The likes of your Lacazettes, and I'd even put Aubameyang in that bracket now.
Yeah, a couple of people have said they'll take Arsenal, to be fair. Wormy Spoons has, Ghost Dog has, Damien Hagan. Inky said no, not Arsenal. But a couple of them said that Dan Brown said he'd take them at home but not away. Damien made a great point. We're going to have to face some of the good clubs at some point, which is fair, but we could do with avoiding them until later on.
Yeah, I'd rather have it in a quarter-final or semi-final when we've got Goodison behind us than... Because I think if we'd have played Manchester United in front of a full Goodison last season, we probably would have won that game, or we wouldn't have lost it in the manner we did, because last season in the quarter-final, we were never really in that tie at all. Too many players had stinkers, didn't they? And you had Cavani throwing Mina to the ground after grabbing him round the neck and completely getting away with it, and Fernandez basically just fouling people as much as he feels like and not getting a yellow card. So, it's Super Kevin Campbell in the studio. I hope he's doing the draw. Give us a nice one, Kevin. Yeah, Kevin Campbell, League Cup winner with Arsenal in 1993. I think people tend to forget that he played for Arsenal. Like, I think he's an Arsenal man, but I think most people associate him with Everton, even though he spent longer at Arsenal, because I think he had the best run of his career at Everton when he came in and made such a massive impact in the late 90s, even though he was part of the early to mid 90s Arsenal that before Wenger, like, it wasn't as good as it was going to be under Wenger, but he was still a team that won trophies regularly.
Yeah, I was going to say one of the earliest memories of when I was younger is my dad running around the house screaming Kevin Campbell. One of the first Everton names I remember from quite a young age.
I mean, he was a little bit before my time. I started following Everton properly in the early 2000s when he was here, but he kind of wasn't the force that he was 2 or 3 years prior when he came in, and he basically saved us from relegation on his own. I remember him, I think in 2003, when Rooney was first breaking on the scene. It was him, it was Duncan, and it was Rooney, and I think it was Thomas Radzinski was around as well. They were kind of the 4 strikers, but Ferguson was always injured. Campbell was injured a lot of the time because he was getting on, and Radzinski was basically just all pace and no goals, and Rooney was the wonder kid who everyone knew was going to be great, but it's whether we could keep hold of him. They're just replaying all the Arsenal goals now. I don't care. I don't think anyone cares. Just get to the draw.
One person, Jack Baker's put Spurs. I don't know if that means he's a Spurs fan or he'd take Spurs, but I'd even avoid Spurs, you know, especially now Kane said that he's going to stay.
I wouldn't have Spurs because I think Spurs, again, like Aston Villa and like us, they're a team that's going to want to do something in this competition. It's probably their best chance at major silverware, isn't it? I mean, I expect Spurs to win that third tier competition, the Europa Conference League, if they take it even half serious. They've got one of the strongest squads in it. But even if they win that, like, people are still going to be laughing at them, aren't they, saying, oh, Mickey Mouse trophy, blah, 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 blah. I think if Tottenham are going to win a trophy that will get everyone off the back and say, right, this team has finally broke its duck, it's got over that mental hurdle, the League Cup's their best chance at it. So they got to the final last year. They did it last season under Mourinho. Mourinho took it absolutely seriously, and they only lost to Man City in the final, who Man City are just unbeatable in this competition, it seems.
As you say, they sacked him before the final, didn't they?
Apparently, they sacked him because I heard Jamie Redknapp, like one of those, WhatsApp voice audios that kind of leaked on Twitter at the time, and it was Jamie Redknapp saying that, from what he was told at the time, Tottenham sacked him. Mourinho I think they were like 8th or 9th in the league, and apparently there was a clause in Mourinho's contract where if he had them outside the top 6, they could sack him for far less money. The payoff was nowhere near as much as it would be if they sacked him whilst they were in the top 6 or 7. So Levy just took the opportunity to pull the trigger. He must have decided months beforehand, as soon as we drop down to a certain place in the league, I'm just going to pull the trigger because I'll save myself a few quid. I don't know if that's true, but I think it would make a lot of sense because, as you said then, why else would you sack a manager right before a final when you brought him in to specifically win a trophy?
I was going to say, with his record, he'd won trophies in every club, hadn't he? So, with his record,
even if he was there, even if he'd have been in charge for that, there was no chance Tottenham were going to win that final against City. No chance.
No, but doing it right before
they'll want to go again, won't they?
Yeah, well,
they'll want to go again. Tottenham, won't they? And other teams will be like that. We'll be in that bracket. Villa will be in that bracket. I think Arsenal will probably be in that bracket. If they can get a trophy this season, then that will take a lot of the stink off of Arteta, won't it? It will buy Arteta some time if he wins them a trophy this season, like the League Cup. It will convince a lot of the fans and the critics that even if they're not going well in the league, that long term the project is going somewhere if they can get another trophy in the cabinet. Whereas teams like Liverpool and United and City, they'll take this competition seriously when it suits them. They'll play a second string probably all the way to the semi-final, and that second string is probably good enough to beat most teams, but you've just got to hope that someone gets them in an early round and manages to knock them out get a draw over 90 minutes, manages to knock them out.
Yeah, a couple of people here are shouting for Cheltenham, which wouldn't be a bad one to get. That'd be quite I don't want to say nice because, but quite a nice one in the ball 6. I'd
really like a home draw because I like going to cup games against lower league teams and seeing rotating. I'd like to see like the likes of Kenny and the likes of Begovic and the likes of Gabamin if he plays again and the likes of Davis. I'd like to see them get on the pitch and get some minutes in a cup game in front of the crowd. Do you know what I mean? And everyone get behind them type thing. I don't know why. I just enjoy cup football, especially early round cup football when you play players who you're not necessarily going to see if you've got a season ticket, and you don't normally see much of these players in league games. That's why I want to see us get back in Europe, because we'll see loads of rotation in Europe.
Well, I was going to say I don't want to spoil the extra time we did, but you mentioned that's why you want to see us in the conference, Europa Conference as well, for the younger lads.
Yeah, because and it's a chance for supporters to get a proper look at these players, because not everyone follows the under-23s closely. Not everyone can be bothered going and looking at seeing what Gabamin was like at Mainz, or seeing how Kenny got on at Celtic, or seeing what Moise Keane was doing every single week for PSG. You only see the odd highlight on Twitter, don't you? So it's a good chance to basically give everyone some minutes and let everyone get a good look at these players and form a solid opinion on them, rather than just guessing all the time, just assuming that this player can't be any good because the manager never picks him for a league game.
Yeah,
I don't know who that is. Sorry, I'm looking away. I've got the screen on in front of me. I don't know who the lady is who's the presenter. I think they're going to the draw now. They've got Kevin Phillips or Calvin Phillips, whatever he's called. No, it's Kevin. Kevin Phillips, the former Southampton and Birmingham striker. He won it in 2011 with Birmingham. It's him and Kevin Campbell, I think, who are going to do the draw after the break. But I don't know who the woman is sat between them. It's not Laura Woods or Kelly Dalglish. It's just some lady with brown hair who I've never seen on the TV before.
I was going to say, I'm still on mine. It's still waiting for them to actually start pulling the balls out on the Sky Sports live stream. Apparently, it starts right after the break.
They've just gone to a break, and the way she was looking at the camera, and Kevin Campbell turned around to look at the camera with a big grin on his face. So they must have said the draw is coming up next, and Kevin's made up because he's going to get to do it. Right. I'm hoping that your stream and my TV are like at the same point. So I hope one of us is not a few seconds ahead. So one of us will go, here's Man United out the hat, and then I haven't seen Man United come out yet. So one of us spoils it for the other one. I hope we get the live reaction at the same time.
Yeah, I'm sort of hoping that I've got like Sky's actual one on my laptop, and I've got it on my phone on their YouTube channel just in case, because I remember last time I did it, people were watching on the TV and the balls got drawn before my stream did, and I was like,
Well, hang on. If it's live on the YouTube channel, then I'll put it on my YouTube channel, and I'll stop looking at the TV. So hopefully we can see it at the same time as everyone else. But if someone else is watching it on the telly and you see the draw before we do, don't type it in the comments and spoil it, please.
Well,
I want to have a live reaction. I don't want to see Everton's. Go on.
Just saying, Luke Holland asked where you can watch the draw, the YouTube channel, mate, or Sky Sports.
Yeah, I've got it up myself now. It's live. Just put League Cup draw, and you'll see it's a top video. The freeze frame is of Mo Salah, Jack Grealish, and Jadon Sancho. Because they're on an ad break currently.
Terry Nash has put that he wants Fulham at Craven Cottage because it's local and he can get tickets to, and he can't get tickets to Goodison thanks to the waiting list.
I don't want that. Has he seen our record down there? I think we've only won like 3 times in 50 years.
Marco Silva's new club.
Our record at Craven Cottage. Yeah, our record at Craven Cottage is surprisingly really, really poor. I think. I know we won there once under Martinez 3-1, but I think, yeah, like the amount of it's something crazy. Like over the last 50 years or 50 visits or something, we've only won like a handful of games, like less than 5. Like honestly, like 3 or 4. We won there, I think, twice under Moyes during his tenure, and we won once under Martinez, and I can't remember us winning there since then. And I think it was one of those grounds that even in the years that we were winning titles, like in the 80s and the 70s, it was just one of those bogey rounds that we never seemed to win at. So I don't want Fulham, no thank you. I remember we got knocked out in this. I think it was Martinez's first season. We got knocked out by Fulham at Craven Cottage because I remember Joel playing in goal and being absolutely terrible, and the likes of Alcaraz playing and he was awful, and Leon Osborne playing on the wing. Just a really mad rotation from Martinez, and we ended up getting knocked out straight away.
Jeez. Joel and Alcaraz at centre back. Wow, mate. Some of the players.
2013.
Some of the players we've had through the door. Jeez.
Yeah, it was the 3rd or 4th round because I remember we beat somebody in extra time because it was Fellaini's last ever game for us. He came on off the bench and scored like in the last minute of extra time to win us the game. And then I think the rounds after that we played someone and Kone missed a load of sitters. It was Kone's full debut, and he got injured like the day after, but he missed about 3 open goals. And then the round after that, we played Fulham and got knocked out. And I think it was one of those years Fulham were in the Premier League, and we just went down there, played a really mad second string team. Like first team was out of position, and reserve goalkeeper who was really unproven, like Joel, and playing Alcaraz, who was just a complete farce for a footballer, and he got beat like 2 or 3-0.
Jeez. Erwin Koeman's here to put Millwall at home for revenge. I mean, I don't know.
I don't want those dogs rocking up to Liverpool. Those Millwall lunatics coming up, smashing, having fights outside the grounds. No, thank you.
Someone's just put, imagine if they get West Ham. That'd be, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be working if I was a policeman on that day. That absolutely caused carnage.
I think if we got West, as I said earlier on, if we played West Ham at home, I'd be satisfied with that because we beat them last season at home, and it's David Moyes, and no matter what run of form his teams are in, David Moyes just can't seem to act cup football. He never has done.
No, I mean I take it from that jump from
David Moyes. It's mad to think It's mad to think David Moyes has only ever played one final in his career. That one he got 2 for us. He doesn't even make semi-finals or quarter-finals that often. Yeah, it is the draw now. It's Kevin Phillips and Kevin Campbell.
Yeah, I was going to say
my TV is a few seconds ahead of my stream, so I'm gonna watch it on the screen here, so we can react at the same time. And as I said, everybody, if you're watching it on TV and you see the draw a couple of seconds before us, don't spoil it and put it in the comments, please.
Shaden Challenges put, "I want Liverpool away." I don't know if he's an Everton fan though, because that would be a mental thing to want.
I don't want Liverpool.
No, it'd be
even though Klopp plays a proper second string, even a third string team in the League Cup. He plays like the under 23s, doesn't he? He just does not care about this competition or the FA Cup. And he's proved when he played even us in the FA Cup, he still wouldn't change his way of operating. So I think if we play Liverpool, we will play a really understrength Liverpool team, but I still just don't want them because of our record. I know we beat them in the last game, and people like to think that. Well, here we go. The draw is coming up now.
I said there's a couple of people here who are very optimistic. Joey 11's put, "Imagine if Benitez beats Liverpool, Agent Rafa reversed." I mean, Cheltenham's the one I really want.
I love Kevin Campbell's big cheesy smile, you know.
He normally wears a bit more.
Can you hear me, mate? Because you.
Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's back now. I think the connection just went a bit fuzzy. Right, so now I know for a fact the draw started on the TV to me right about 2 minutes ago, so I think we are 2 minutes behind, but I don't care. I've not looked.
As you say, I've just had a ball pulled out here.
Yeah, on our stream, Phillips is just putting his hand in. First one out. We were the first ones out. QPR versus Everton. That'll do.
That'll do brilliantly. I can't believe we were the first ones out.
We were the very first one. Well, second ball, but we were the first tie. Yeah. So that's all the drama gone, isn't it? QPR away though. I'd have took that all day. I'd have took that.
So. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame it's not a Goodison Park, but it's a team you'd hope we'd see off.
Yeah, I mean, Manchester United against. Come on, Kevin, give them Chelsea or someone. Manchester United versus West Ham.
That's a decent draw.
That's a tasty one. West Ham could knock them out if they play a second string.
Yeah, it's not bad. That
Fulham versus. Number 9, Leeds. That'll be even as well. I was saying before. I mean, QPR. I haven't kept up with them much. I mean, are they a team in and around the playoff places, or are they a team that's like Huddersfield in the bottom half of the Championship, just looking to have a safe season? Or
I don't think they're right up there, because I know Fulham are they're 2 points off the top with 8 points from 4 games, so they're 5th.
Do you know who the manager is there now? Because I don't.
No.
Watford versus. Come on. 21. Stoke. That's a boring draw if there was one. Now, QPR away, I think as long as we go 70% strength, then we should have enough in that one. Chelsea at home, come on, draw Liverpool or someone, or City. I'd love that. Just get a big gun knocked out straight away. This is number 2. Aston Villa, that's a good one. Chelsea versus Aston Villa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll rotate the squad anywhere near it. I think Huddersfield was probably one of those lessons learned.
Yeah. I think he'll play the likes of Gabaman again, and maybe someone like Kenny at right back, and he'll keep Begovic in goal. And if he's still here, Moise Keane will probably start. But I'd like to think he'll start the likes of Dean, and he might start the likes of Alan and maybe Richarlison if he's fully fit. Norwich versus. At number 11, Liverpool.
Jeez.
It's at Norwich. I mean, I'd still fancy Liverpool to win that because Norwich, that manager, Farke, I mean, I don't know. Does he tend to rotate in cup competitions? We know for a fact Klopp is going to rotate Liverpool's team heavily, but I'd still fancy Liverpool's second or third string to beat a second string Norwich.
Yeah, I mean, Charles just mentioned then QPR is their manager's Mark Warburton, and they have Charlie Austin, who's actually found a bit of form. He scored the other day for them.
Arsenal at home versus number one, who are AFC Wimbledon. Well, that's another easy one for Arsenal.
Yeah.
I suppose they drew a bit of luck though.
Arteta could do with it, to be fair.
If he's still in the job by then, it's about a month away, isn't it? This round.
Yeah.
Sheffield United. Again.
Like we said, they've got tough games.
31. Sheffield versus Southampton. That's got going to penalties written all over it, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 12. Manchester City at home, and watch them get a League One team. I don't know why it is. They always get easy routes to finals. They always do.
Yeah,
Manchester City versus Wickham. It's bollocks that every single year they get an easy route to the semi-final in the League Cup and the FA Cup. They don't play a Premier League team until the semi-finals at least. So Guardiola can play his third or fourth string and still win 3 or 4-0.
I was going to say, normally it's like, 3, 4, 5, isn't it? Against really lower teams.
Millwall versus Leicester. Hopefully Millwall bash them out of it and give them a few injuries.
I think that'll be quite tough. That'll be quite tough for Leicester.
Yeah, I think Rodgers, if he wants to be sure they'll win that, will need to go full strength. Wolves versus number 24. Tottenham. Ooh, that's an even draw. I think that's got going to penalties written all over it. Wolves versus Tottenham. Brighton versus Swansea. Don't think there's many left now, but I think
that should be easy for Brighton. Easy enough.
I think that's it. That was the last one. So they'll bring up the full draw now. We know we got QPR away. Liverpool got Norwich away. Man City got Wickham at home. Big shock. I think the draw of the round is either United versus West Ham or
Chelsea Villa looks tasty.
Chelsea Villa, or again Wolves versus Tottenham. I think that will be an even one on the night as well.
Yeah, I really am hoping Millwall absolutely
kick lumps out of Leicester.
Yeah, just really lump them around. I mean, there is, hopefully a couple of Prem teams knocked out means a slightly easier route for us. QPR, we'll have to wait and see if their form, like you said, it's in a month. They've only played 4 games. We'll have to wait and see if their form stays.
We'll see what happens. If they're near the bottom of the Championship in a month's time, then you'd think they're just going to throw it out the window, aren't you, and play a second string. And
yeah, I mean, last time I saw their score the other day because I saw Charlie Austin score, but I mean, that says it all if he's getting goals for them. But yeah, I think we should see enough to see them through. Hopefully, looking at the games they've played, they beat Hull, beat Middlesbrough, drew against Barnsley, and then beat Oxford in the cup. And they drew a Millwall on the opening day. So,
yeah. I think, as I said before, and as you touched on, I don't think we'll rotate as much as we did. I think Benitez won't want to risk that again. And I think if we go 70 to 80% full strength, then we should have more than enough. I mean, rotate maybe 3 or 4 players, but don't rotate 7 or 8. Begovic stay in goal, maybe Kenny at right back instead of Coleman. Give Coleman a rest. But I'd play Dean. I'd play Godfrey if Mina can have 2 games in a week. I'd probably play Mina. I think in midfield we'll see Gabam start again, but rather than put Davis or Gomez next to him, I'd like to see us put Decore, and just to give us a bit of steel, and then up front, maybe Calvert-Lewin, just to guarantee us a goal, because I think if Calvert-Lewin plays against QPR, he'll get a goal definitely. So.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on if Moise Keane's still about by then as well. Maybe he goes in this window. Maybe I don't think PSG even with the money they get from Mbappe are going to be interested in him.
No,
I don't think they see him.
I think that ship sailed, hasn't it? And
yeah,
I don't think he's going to go for that reason. I think he's stuck here, and I think the reason he's got as much as he's got the cob on that he seems to have is because he knows it's not happening. I think if there was genuinely a good chance that deal was still getting worked on and it might go through, he'd be keeping his head down and be looking to impress in every opportunity he gets, to basically say to PSG, yes, come and get me. You're doing the right thing by wanting to buy me. Whereas the way he's been behaving the last few weeks, deleting all his stuff off social media, even the anti-racism banner, and the fact that he's put... did you see that photo of him pulling a face when that he stopped to take a photo with that kid?
Yeah, I saw someone say happy as always or something.
Yeah, he had a face on him like a smacked ass, and in the warm-up against Leeds the other day, he looked like he wasn't even trying, and obviously what's happened last night where he's got himself sent off and he's just walked off as if he didn't care one bit. I think he's very much sulking, and I think the reason he's sulking is because he probably knows that he's stuck here.
Yeah. I mean, let's have a look at some of the chat. Who wants to do a little quiz for Paul and Connor? Last time Everton played QPR was the 2nd of March 2015 and they won 2-1. Can they name the team without the comments spoiling it?
2015?
Yeah.
What was it? March 2015. So under Martinez, was it?
Yeah.
It would have been, I think it was Joel in goal because we dropped Howard by that point, hadn't we? It would have been Coleman at right back. It will have been
Baines on the left.
Baines on the left. The centre mid, the centre backs. It will have been Funes Mori and Stones. I think. At least one of them was in the line, or maybe one of them was next to Jagielka because Distan had gone by that point. So it was Funes Mori, Stones, or Jagielka. Two out of those 3 at the back. The midfield would have been. Not sure. I think McCarthy was injured around that time. It would
Barry still here then, or?
Yeah, Barry was. Tom Cleverley, maybe. I think that was the year Cleverley was here.
I forget he played for us. He goes right under my radar.
He came in and didn't do anything, did he?
No,
not just he came. He played. He went. There was just nothing about it. There's nothing to remember about him. Is that he wasn't particularly terrible, but he wasn't very good either. So, Cleverley would have been about. I think. Lukaku up front.
Morales on the wings.
Who on the wing? Sorry,
Morales.
Yeah, Morales. Who would have been on the other wing?
Potentially.
Yeah, that Deulofeu. That we had Deulofeu back that year. We had him in the first season and the third, didn't we? Would have had maybe Deulofeu, Morales. Besic, I think Besic was around at that time. Would he have played?
Possibly in a cup, possibly.
Oviedo, maybe. I remember that was around the time Oviedo got over his leg break. I mean, I don't think I could name it the start 11, but I think we've named all the players who were either in the team or on the bench around that time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think
we've got most of them there, yeah.
Yeah, it was just, Tom Cleverley completely, honestly. I know, like you said, he did nothing, but when you mentioned it then, I was like, wow.
He's still at Watford. He scored on the opening day, didn't he, against Villa?
That is mad. Oh, we've got Jags, Baines, Stones, Coleman, Lukaku are the only ones you got in the starting 11. Jeez.
Who was in midfield then? I know McCarthy was here, but I thought McCarthy was injured most of that season. I remember we had Cleverley. I remember we had Barry. I remember we had who else? Wasn't that whatever it's called? Do you remember that kid we brought over from Uruguay who played 1 minute? Leandro Rodriguez.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, was that the game where he came?
The other day.
Yeah, it was that the game where he came on in as a last minute substitute, and that was his only senior appearance.
There's a couple like that. Lassina Traore came on, didn't he? Got a goal and then never played again.
He started, I think. He started. He got a goal, and then he came off after an hour, and then he got injured in the warm up the game after and never played again. Whereas Leandro Rodriguez, I don't think ever even made the bench on any other occasion. He made the bench for that one game and was thrown on right at the end. Just I don't know, just for Martinez for a laugh, by the looks of it.
Trying to think who else was around at the time. I mean, someone's put Darren Gibson.
Oh yeah, him.
There we go. Howard, Stones, Coleman, Jags, Baines, Gibson, McCarthy, Lennon, Osman, Kone, Lukaku.
Lennon, I forgot about Aaron Lennon. I just saw him today as well. He's re-signed for Burnley, hasn't he?
Yeah, he played today. Played in the game.
Good for him. Good fella, Aaron Lennon.
Yeah, I remember. Is it that when this shirt announcement for us, he got a load of stick because he's literally like.
Yeah, he looked like he'd been told his dog had died.
Yeah. On the bench was Joel, Alcaraz, Browning, Garbett, Barkley, Bezic, and Naismith.
Jesus, how grim is that bench? None of them are even here anymore.
Nah. Tyce Browning's a Chinese international now, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's mad as well. That's mad.
I think he got Chinese citizenship because he'd been over there for X amount of years. I don't think he's got Chinese ancestry as far as I know. But yeah, I remember he got Chinese. Yeah, but you're right. He plays in China and he's been capped by the Chinese national team. But fair enough, he wants to play international football. It's not going to happen for England, is it? Or
no. I mean, yeah, Coleman and Lennon getting the goals as well. That says all it needs to really about the game.
Fuck off. That Ian Doyle writes for the Echo. Liverpool have now been drawn against Premier League opposition 18 times in 27 cup draws under Jurgen Klopp. Fuck off, you absolute professional victim.
Have you seen that in the last 5 years or 4 years, every opening game they've played a newly promoted side?
Yeah. No, he's not tweeting with a fucking pair of emoji eyes like, isn't something suspicious about that? He's not fucking tweeting about that, is he, the little Ming? Just professional victim.
We got here. Charlie Austin started against Everton in that game in 2015.
Has he been there all this time?
No, he left. He went to West Brom and then went back. I think it was West Brom. He went to.
I remember him at Southampton for a little bit.
Good player. I really like him. I think he's a very good Championship player as well.
He's one of them where he could have been a lot better than he could have had a career a lot better than it has been if his injuries hadn't beaten him. He's got bad knees, hasn't he? Whereas at one point it looked like he was going to be. Did he ever get capped for England, Charlie Austin? I think he might have, maybe once. But he looked like a player who could have been in and around the England team for a good 5 or 6 years. But it's just, don't know whether it was his bad luck or his lifestyle, but it's just his knees have been a problem for him for years, haven't they?
Someone's put we were linked with Austin. That doesn't surprise. To be fair, if it was before his injuries, I don't blame the club for looking at him.
Yeah, we were linked with him, I remember it, but I think because of his injury records, we just wouldn't pay the fee that QPR wanted. It was the same with Demba Ba, another cracking striker who we were linked with, but we just never took the gamble. And another team took the gamble and ended up getting a lot of use out of him.
That Joey Eleven's put he used to drink in the King Charles at Anfield when he was at Liverpool. When he was in Liverpool.
Arsenal supporters at the Hawthorns were chanting, "Arsenal fan TV, get out of our club." It's not Arsenal fan TV's fault that the club's ran like an absolute shambles and that the players are all shithouses. So come on.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take QB. I mean, Charlie Austin's still going to be a bit of a player to watch in the game. I feel like he's still going to be one we've got to be careful of, especially in the set pieces.
Who else is there? QPR, like, have they got any like names like who played in the Premier League a few years ago?
Is Jake Bidwell still knocking about for them?
I don't think so. I remember they had Junior Hoylett for a long time, and he was a really good player, but he looked like he was going to be a really good player. His career never really kicked on, did it?
No. I'm having a look now at the side they played Barnsley with. There's not a lot.
No, I've just got the squad up now. Now Austin's the only one who's really jumping out at me. I think the rest of them are all just kind of career-long lower league players. I don't look at any of these players and think, oh yeah, I remember him in the Premier League. I think most of them are just solid professionals who have reached their level, which is mid-table championship. Might be wrong. Chris Willock, I think that name rings a bell. Did he play for? Yeah, Chris Willock. I think he was an Arsenal academy player for a little bit.
Yeah, look, I was going to say I can't. There's none that really stand out as like.
Oh, there is one. I've just seen now. That Scottish striker who he played against England in the Euros. He's got a shaved head. It's the number 9, Lyndon Dykes. He's Australian, but he qualifies for Scotland and he played for Scotland in the Euros. He's Scotland's like main striker now with Shea Adams. Scotland play a 4-4-2, don't they? And it's Lyndon Dykes and Shea Adams who start up front. So they did in the Euros against England. He's like a big target man, big strong guy who doesn't get loads of goals, but was like what Calvert-Lewin used to be. It was a striker who's just a pain in the arse for the back line to deal with. He's just really strong and really up for like a physical battle type thing. So we'll have to get Yerry Mina on him.
I was going to say that's not filled. I feel like these are going to be hard working, which doesn't fill me with much confidence.
He will be like a striker in like the old Bobby Zamora mould, where they're not like banging. They're not getting hatfuls of goals every season, but if you come up against them as a centre half, you know you're going to be in for an hard day.
Yeah. I mean, I think we will leave the stream there though, just because we've had our draw, we've seen who we've got. I think we're both fairly confident about QPR as a whole.
Yeah, there would have been easier draws. I really would have liked it if it was at Goodison, but if you'd have offered me QPR away at any point before the draw was made, I'd have had that, and I think most supporters would have had that. It's a championship team who have probably got other priorities this season other than having a cup run. Now, I think as long as we don't overcomplicate it like we nearly did against Huddersfield, then we should be winning that comfortably.
No worries. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Everyone who liked the thing, don't forget to like the stream if you're still here. And thank you for commenting. It's been great to interact with you and see your opinions. Don't forget to subscribe to the Toffee Blues as well on YouTube. There'll be plenty more content coming out as the season goes on. Thank you, Paul, as well. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure as well, mate. Till next time.